Oh, am I playing right now?
Not yet. Not yet. We're
Okay.
talking.
All right. All right. Let me grab all my gear.
You're listening to WKDW Radio 97.5 and KDWRadio.com, broadcasting from the Bishop West Real Estate Mobile Tower right here in Northport, Florida. But I've got a really cool guest in the house today. We're kind of broadcasting from all over today. Hopefully, Kyle will be joining us from Jacksonville. And I've got Joel, is it Jorgensen?
Yeah, Jorgensen. Yeah.
There you go. I knew I was going to mess that up and do a tongue twister. But where are you located? I think you're in Nashville, aren't you?
Yep. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
And so, how long have you been a songwriter?
I think I started my first song. I was 13. And
Wow.
Now I'm old enough to know better.
Old enough to know better. So, what's the industry been like for you on your journey?
It's all about adapting. At first, when I first started in my early 20s, I was like, I think it was 22, 23. I just got out there and wanted to be a rock star. And then I realized there was more than just being a rock star. There's the business. There's all kinds of things that come into play. And adaptation has been the biggest one of these past 10 years, is just learning how to stay active in the business and continue to be able to create and generate income.
And is that really ever changing? Is it really fluid like we all believe it is?
Yeah. It can change. It can change overnight.
And that adaption that you guys have to have, that ability to kind of switch gears, that I've met a lot of songwriters, and I've had these conversations, and everybody kind of takes their journey a little different, and they make their transitions a little different. There's never one clear path, is there?
Nope. No, there isn't. There are do's and don'ts, but the first and foremost is always be true to yourself and be true to your craft, because if you're not, you won't last.
So I do want to talk to you just a few minutes about your craft. Are you just a songwriter, or are you multifaceted?
Well, we're sitting in my studio. That's where we're broadcasting from today. So in order to nowadays make a living in the industry, you either do one thing, and that's the one thing you focus on, and hopefully it pays off, or you do multiple things and you focus on your strengths rather than your weaknesses. Because from what I've seen and with my career and other people's careers, if you do that, you will find your niche and you will eventually start gaining traction. So.
And so, how many songs have you actually produced? And actually, let me ask you this: what is your average output per year on songs that you put out, just to see if any of them catch hold?
Yeah, let's see. I've been writing full time for I think going on 2 years, and it's 3 to 4 songs a week. So you do the math there. I think out of all those songs, maybe 4 cuts.
Four.
Yeah, 4 cuts, and then I work with a lot of other artists and produce their music. So, and the cuts are like, when you're getting a bigger cut, hopefully you'll make a little bit of money down the road. But it's a hard business. Everything is shifting, so you never know. It cuts more or less now, just open doors from what I've seen for people. There's Kyle Whittaker.
That is Kyle Whittaker. So how you doing, Kyle?
I'm pretty good, buddy. Just trying to get this all situated.
There you go. So I've been talking to Joel a little bit about his journey, and I know you guys know each other. I know you, so I've got to be careful on not asking you the right things. But your journey is a little different than Joel's. But tell us a little bit about your journey as a songwriter and how you got started and how you're transitioning.
Honestly, when I got started in music, kind of kind of by accident, really. I was never really social as a kid. I played all the sports and everything like that, but I never had a bunch of real close friends. And I picked up a guitar, I say late in life compared to a lot of these guys in town and gals. But I think I was probably 16, 17 when I picked up a guitar, and I picked it up literally for a release. I literally picked it up to write songs, to say what like a therapist, you know what I mean? They have the old running joke, music's cheaper than therapy.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so I just used to sit there and write songs literally as a release. I wasn't the kid to try and start a band and go meet all the girls and be the cool kid. I kind of did it in the closet, you know what I mean? Didn't want to talk to people about my problems, so I thought I'd write songs, and that's where I got started. And when it really started shifting gears for me, let's see, I came up here, I want to say 07, 06 or 07, literally just to get away from things, and ended up staying here. I had $765 in my pocket, and stayed here a year and didn't know a soul. Just fell in love with the atmosphere of Nashville and the artistic nature of everything that goes on here. And it just it took a dream that I just wanted to write songs for myself, and it made me think, wouldn't it be cool if I wrote something that somebody else understood or somebody else could relate to? And then it just snowballed from there. I used to sleep in my Jeep and take showers at truck stops. I've done all kind of crazy stuff just to be in this town. And Joel and I met quite a few years ago now. I don't.
Yeah, 8 years.
8 years ago. It's like a brother from another mother for me. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. The artistic kinship that you have with so many people in this town.
Well, are you in Nashville now?
Yes.
I thought you were in Jacksonville.
No, I'm from Jacksonville originally.
Okay, I had that messed up. So
yeah,
when I tell you I'm going to come up and play in the shed, I got to drive all to Nashville now, right?
yeah.
So how about that?
Yeah.
So, I was looking at your Facebook page, and I literally put you in Jacksonville, thinking that you were that close to me. And truly, when I said I was driving up, I'm literally driving up, but I am definitely coming to Nashville in the next few weeks. I have to go see Rose. And so you guys are all on my map, I think, to try to get to and at least say hello to. But I want to spend a couple of days up there and not doing Nashville. I want to do the real Nashville and come up there and see you guys. But I'm going to have Joel start us out with the song and give us a little background on where the song came from, originated from, and thought processes you put into it.
Ooh, okay. Hi, Kyle. It's good to see you, buddy.
Was I
Thanks for
late?
having me on
I'm
the
sorry.
show. No, I don't think you were late.
No.
I think this is one of the first songs I wrote when I moved to Nashville. I came home and my Kyle's heard this song before. We've shared the stage a whole bunch here in Nashville. But I came home and my roommate was sulking over a bottle of whiskey, and I said, "What happened?" He said him and his girlfriend broke up, and we're like, "All right." And he was like, "Well, I'm pretty sure once I get to the bottom of this bottle, I'll get it figured out." And so that's how we wrote this song, to the bottom of it. Should you guys hear me well?
Yeah, that's funny.
I got bourbon on my breath and a woman on my mind. Still ain't come to terms with this. It's been a long time. Beating myself up and putting whiskey down. I just can't believe she's gone now. So I'm searching for the answers in a bottle of Jim Beam as to why she had to go and throw away our dreams. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but if I still got this fifth, pretty dang sure I get to the bottom of it. Every morning it's the same, the words hammer in my head. I put the bottle to my lips to forget what was said. I'm reaching for salvation, finding emptiness instead, burning on my breath. To oblivion I'll slip. So I'm searching for the answers in a bottle of Jim Beam as to why she had to go and throw away our dreams. And I don't know what tomorrow holds, but if I still got this fifth, pretty dang sure I get to the bottom of it. Yes, I'm pretty dang sure I'll get to the bottom of it. I'll get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I wrote that with Trey Spears.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So you've been playing for a lot of years. How many you got under your belt now, Joe?
Let's say professionally, yeah, about 20 years.
So
20 some odd years.
20 years in the craft, and if you had to tell one new songwriter straight out of the gates, if you had to tell them one thing, what would you tell them today?
What do you think, Kyle? Don't do it.
Be yourself.
Be yourself. Yeah. Kyle hit the nail on the head. Be yourself. Always be true to yourself.
Yeah.
No matter what, people can read right through it.
Yeah.
So
like
Kyle, I'm going to ask you the same question, and then I'm going to ask you to pick up your guitar and give us a little story about yourself there. But
right.
what would your piece of advice be other than to be yourself?
Shoot, I shouldn't have said it so soon.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. You know what? Just play and write as much as you can, every chance you get. When you think you wrote your best one, write one better. Because if the more comfortable you get with what you've already done, the further you'll be behind later.
Absolutely.
Man,
so, you know, I was at Songwriters with you, Kyle, and we had such a good time down in Key West, but I met Taylor Phillips down there. And it's funny you said that, because I met him at midnight and spent 4 hours with him. And one of the things he said when I asked him the question is, what's your favorite song? He said, it's always my next song.
Yeah.
And it's funny. The more I get to talk to you guys, there's never just really truly one moment. There's so many.
Yeah.
And do you feel the same way, Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I do. There's a rule. You don't play a brand new song. If you're up doing writers rounds, you're like, I wrote the song today, I'm going to get there and sing it today. There's just a rule. You don't do that. Like,
yeah.
spend some time with it.
Because
you may think it's brand new and it's awesome, but it may be just a total turd.
Yeah. There's an ether that floats around that immediate gratification of, man, this is the greatest line I've ever written. And then you wake up in the morning and you listen back and it's like, oh God,
damn, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you said that, Joel, because I've been going to Songwriters down in Key West now for 6 or 7 years, and that's kind of where the inspiration from all this came from. But I have literally sat there and people have said that got up there and played, hey, I just wrote this last night. I'm gonna play it for you, and I almost can think of those moments and go, okay, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I,
Sometimes you get that song where either you write it yourself or you write it with a friend or whoever you write it with, and it's one of those that comes out in 20 minutes. But that's one in a million. You know what I mean? And that you don't have to do anything to. 99.9% of the time, after you think you're done with it, put it down, come back to it later, and I guarantee you'll have something you'll change. You know, whether it's a word, a line, or phrasing, or whatever. And that's the beauty of it. You know, there's no right or wrong. There's no rules. You know, it's just your interpretation.
it's fantastic. Yeah, we all learn something it seems like every show I learn another piece from another songwriter, and they start to overlap at times, but it's everybody's perspective of where they're at and where they're going is totally different, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick up your guitar and play your first one there, Kyle?
Sure.
And oh, by the way, I gotta say this. I think you're the first lefty.
All right. I'm bass backwards, as my mom always told me. This first one I'll play you. I wrote this about my wife many years ago. So she loves to dance, and I dance. I look like Charlie Brown when I'm dancing. So I just kind of, with just a little leg kick. So I just kind of let her do her thing. But I love watching her dance. So it's called "Blew Me Away." And actually, Joe and I have worked on this. We've got something going on. I'm trying to get my ducks in a row so we can put it out. Blew me away with the way that you move. That look in your eye, girl, made me lose my groove. I can't explain it when you do what you do. Oh, you blew me away with the way that you move. Oh, and I knew when I saw you, I ain't the first, it won't be the last. But you put me under some new kind of spell. Oh, and this may be heaven, or this may just be hell. One thing's for sure, I've nothing left to lose. You blew me away with the way that you move. Well, every time I see you, I just gotta have one more. Oh, 'cause every now and then you'll look my way, girl. Oh, when you come walking by me, just like I can't see it. You put me under some new kind of spell. Oh, and this may be heaven, or this may just be hell. One thing's for sure, I've nothing left to lose. You blew me away with the way that you move. From time to time, when I get up the nerve, you take me out on the floor. Oh, you look like an angel with a halo above her home. You put me under some new kind of spell. Oh, and this may be heaven, or this may just be hell. One thing's for sure, I've nothing left to prove. Oh, you blew me away with the way that you move. Yeah, you blew me away with the way that you move.
Fantastic.
Something like that.
So, you guys put out a lot of songs. You guys do all kinds of things with other songwriters, other performers, I'm sure. How many times do you write music for people that are outside of Nashville?
Yeah, I'll go first if you
Go
don't mind,
ahead, go
Joel.
ahead.
I don't ever write necessarily thinking of personally. I mean, some people do, but I don't necessarily write thinking of I'm going to write this for this person or this band or anything like that. I just kind of write the songs, and if somebody wants to cut them, great. If they live in Jacksonville, they live in North Carolina. There's a Jacksonville, North Carolina. But if they live in Egypt, I don't care. Go for it. But my brain doesn't really work. I guess you would say I ain't that smart to write specifically, for something. Joel is a machine. I'm sure that he can sit down and say, let's write a song. This person,
Love you, brother.
Love you too, buddy.
I gotta ask now, Joel, is the machine like a T-shirt now that you're going to put out and sell? Joel the Machine.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, right. I think there's a movie called The Machine that's coming out, but it has something completely different to do. It's not even. It's
Correct.
something to do with Russia and a comedian. I don't know.
We should do a biography on you. Call it The Machine.
The Machine, yeah.
If you're not writing, recording, or producing, you're raising a baby. So you.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
right.
Well,
I'm glad you said that. That whole picture that you just laid out is truly what we were talking about. I think what we were talking about prior to adapting and changing. Because if you're not taking your craft and adding multi layers to it, and you're just focused on songwriting solely as making it in this world, I think those days are long behind us now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's getting pretty tough.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Joel, do you collaborate with writers, either via videos like this or podcasts that where you guys get together and collaborate and try to hammer some things out, or do you assist people where they're having some issues?
So I've only done a couple of the Zoom writes, and I know during the pandemic, a lot of writers started doing that just to stay sane, and to stay connected and keep that muscle strong. Cause it's like anything, songwriting and playing, you got to keep doing it every day. If you don't, your brain just for some reason forgets it. A lot of times when I'm doing a collaborative project, it's usually through some kind of online host like Air Gigs or Sound Better. Those companies are really great for connecting artists and creators all together on one platform, and it's well curated, and the money's good, and they took a lot of. I've been with them for 13 or 14 years now, so when I'm doing stuff like that, it's usually we're trying to hash out a song, and it's usually has nothing to do with country music. I'll be honest with you. If I'm working with people in Sweden, it's usually has something to do with metal. If it's Germany or somewhere in the Middle East or whatever, it's always dance music. Japan, a lot of dance music. So it's still curated. There's like the communication barrier. A lot of people use like the converters to, try to explain what they want. And it's just like, I really want this next version of the dog to sound like this part that the cat was supposed to sound like, because it still hasn't figured out how to like convert languages. So you have to really guess. Last week I was working with a guy, but he's here in the United States. He's in Chicago, and he flew down here, and he does like hip hop music. And it's something that he was sending me ideas before he got out here. So to answer your question in a really long way,
that's all right.
Yeah, that's like because technology is so good now, it's making the world smaller. So being a creator, your world has gotten much bigger where you don't have to worry about just being in one place, you can be everywhere. You know, you can create everywhere. There's like Pro Tools has, I can't remember what's that, the audio movers. You can run sessions. I can run a session here out in Los Angeles, and the player could be in Florida and another one could be in New York, and we're all playing seamlessly together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, there's some
fantastic.
crazy stuff. I remember when I first heard, I talked to a friend of mine and he said, I got this song done this week. And I was like, where did you record it? And he's like, well, I did the rhythm and the vocals over here, but I sent it to this guy in New York and he laid his track down, and this guy sent it to wherever, he to California, and that guy laid his track down, and then I sent it off to get, you know, and it's just amazing that they can, what technology enables you to do these days.
Well, and I was listening to you, and you said something I want to kind of hone in on it real quick, because the creative area gets bigger, and you said that there's an area that gets smaller.
Yeah.
So that area that gets smaller, is that the more intense area now that a lot of songwriters are, you know, there's opportunity in songwriting, but there's also layers of how you get paid in songwriting. So is that smaller zone more intense now than it's ever been, or is it pretty equal?
As far as getting cuts,
As far as maybe getting paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got the Spotify's out there. You got all these people out there that are taking cuts along the way.
Yeah.
For a lot of things that you guys are doing, and the origination of a song starts with you guys a lot of times, but it doesn't end up that you're the biggest beneficiary of that at the end.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but the beauty to me, the beauty and the beast is technology to me. I mean, it's enabled so many people to it's enabled so many people that didn't normally have the ability to put music out. It's enabled them to put music out. And the flip side of that is the market is so flooded that it's harder to find a particular person sometimes, or find your way through, because it's like traffic. You know, if you made Ferraris cheap, everybody'd have one, right? Well, to find the one that you're looking for, it makes it that much harder. And I think for me, Zoom rights, when that was a big thing, I think I wrote with two people a couple times on a couple songs, and it doesn't have the vibe to it. But to be able to sit there and say, hey, Joel, I got this song I want to do, and go over there and be able to bust it out, you know, at his house, and not have to, you know, get a record deal, for lack of a better term, or pay, you know, exorbitant amounts of money to get something cut and put out. It's just, there's a lot of different pros and cons to the technology thing. And as far as the music business side of it and getting paid, you know, it's always been kind of clicky, if you understand what I'm saying there.
I did.
But Joe probably, you know, he's probably can say it better.
I guess we're leaning on the machine at this point.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, you know, when
how to make
all of your years that you've been doing this, you've watched it, and I picked up on how you said it, because it seemed like when you said it, the creative side of it it just opened up a whole lot of things. But when you talked about the honing in and the end result, you just kind of held your body a little different. That's why I picked up on it more, because I think that was the more intense part. I don't know. I'm judging you from video, because we've never really met prior to this, but your body language told me that the creative side of it was just the more fun and the more fluid part for you.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If you could take money out of it, boy, I'd probably work myself to death.
I can see that.
But right?
Yeah, I mean, I love creating. I mean, I wrote a song with an artist today, and when we get off here, I got to write 2 more. And it wasn't always like this. And I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do this every single day. And I'm lucky, and I work my ass off. My days start at 5:30 every morning, regardless of how late I've been out drinking with Kyle Whittaker. You know,
Not
you
going
know, when well, we go out, we see shows, or we play a show together, or we just bump into each other, and but every day it's up at 5:30 regardless, and I work until 8 o'clock at night, or if I have to go to a show. And that's how it's been. It's been like that for, I think, 4 years straight. And it's the hardest I've ever worked. Like when I was in my 20s, I got signed with Sony, and I was, doing the rock star thing, and was on tour with big bands and playing 20,000 seaters a night. It was easy. I had no idea how easy that was. I was just along for the ride. I was the front man and got to write the music and got to be a rock star for a minute. But when all of that was gone, and I had to start eating large quantities of humble pie, fuck, man, it all changes. You got to learn how, you got to change your work ethic. It's just like, what's more important, and I hate to say it. It's like, yeah, in this business, and you got to make money. And I know dudes that are like, they're sitting on mountains of cash and they're working every single day. And I dream about that day. I can't imagine not having to worry about the money and being able to even pour more of that energy that's being wasted when worried about that into the craft, to be able to take on artists and be like, work a deal with them where it's just, I'm going to pay for everything and let's get them to the top, but it's just not like that yet. So I get to work with artists that I love, and we figure it out as we go. And it's been fantastic to see, like Henry Conlon and Matt Greer and Carlisle Griffin, and, Jack the Underdog, and I just got a cut with Coffee Anderson out of Texas, or Coffee Anderson, and Ryan Martin, he's blowing up, got a cut with him. So it's like the work ethic. Like I was telling you, you got to have a work ethic. You got to put it first and foremost. You got to have 5 lines of income to make it work. And that's in the music industry. You've got royalties, you've got writers' rounds, you've got, sound finch and sound better and producing, and,
Yeah, that's that moment you realize you're multifaceted, and it's because you have to.
Oh yeah, you have no choice. Yeah,
Right.
If you're going to keep doing it, I mean, I'm pigeonholed myself. I'm at the point where it's like there's no turning back. You can't. I mean, I guess I could go back to school and learn another craft, but I'm pretty sure you might find me swinging about 10 years. I know that's dark, but I mean, what else are you going to do when you feel it? You got to do it.
Yeah, I get it.
I guess I'm going to have to change the name of the show to The Ultimate Truth, I guess.
Yeah.
Because the machine went there already. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you live the machine down, because he lived with me. And when I come to Nashville, I'm probably going to bring you a T-shirt that says The Machine. I just that was epic right there, and it kind of fits you, because the level of input that you just gave anyone who's trying to figure out the industry. It's true that you've got 20 plus years honing the craft. You've done multiple things within the craft, and you just said a thing that I talked to 3 songwriters earlier today. I'm a real estate agent who loves the songwriting industry, who thought about doing this, but I'm taking phone calls and talking to people about whether they're going to continue the fight. And I got guys that are telling me they've made adjustments to have the 5 streams of income, and I'm talking with them, and it's just it's interesting on this side, because I have such an appreciation when I go to the songwriters events. I just wish that people could understand, that have never been to a songwriters event, the true talent that they're looking at before they get to hear it on the radio a lot of times, or the true talent that they see and hear that never makes it to the radio. And there's been a lot of songs that I come back from a songwriters event and I just listen to them because I know for a fact they're not going to get to the radio in my lifetime, maybe. I'm 60 years old now and I've had my issues, but we've introduced a lot of new people because we bring them with us and we talk about it, but we talk about going to a songwriters event with the same passion that you guys have when you talk about your craft. I think that's the blessing when you have fans that actually get it.
People like you are why we get to do it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, no, it's cool though, and it's the friendships that I built, like with Kyle and now the Machine, Joel the Machine. That's
this is definitely
it's epic to me. I look forward to each and every show. I work really hard to try to get this to be better each week. I think this is my 5th show now in doing this, and I'm working on software. I'm working on different things to do that. And Joel doesn't know this, but I'm actually taking guitar lessons because I want to learn how to play the guitar at 60 years old. So I'm trying to encourage a lot of that out there now. And even our local music store, my instructor, I'll give you a John Rawlings update, Kyle. I played 9 chords the other day in a class, and he had to count them up at the end because it was the most I ever played. So
that's more than I know. Shoot.
You hit your 3 times past me. I don't.
Yeah.
Just don't ask me to do it again because
my vocabulary is
a repeat.
My vocabulary is about this big, and my chord vocabulary is about that big.
You're rocking and rolling.
So I'm gonna have Joe play another song. What's the next favorite that you have, or the next non-favorite that you have, Joel?
Oh shoot! Let me see here. I was digging through my phone. Let's see. There's a fantastic songwriter here in Nashville and performer. His name's George Shingleton. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Write his name down, chase him down. This guy is a beast. I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get through this song. This song's called Just Walk Away, and we wrote this a couple months back. Walk by each other just like complete strangers. They're so thick, you cut it with a knife, and the words keep on ringing, and they echo to the deep end from the shallow caverns of my mind. And damn the I hate yous, and the gutter hells and with-throughs, stitching up what's left of me and you. And them bed sheets stay cold when hearts ain't on fire. Being alone ain't no one's desire. But what can be said when there's nothing left to say? Did we pick up the pieces of us, or just walk away? Just walk away. And there's no way of knowing if we keep on going, if all the love we built would fall. If there's no turning back, then it's all been for nothing. Why the hell can't we let go and move on? And the bed sheets stay cold when hearts ain't on fire. Being alone ain't no one's desire. What can we do when there's nothing left to say? Do we pick up the pieces of us? Do we pick up the pieces of us? Or just walk away? Or just walk away? Just walk away. Yeah.
Woo!
Fantastic. And Kyle's sipping his drink because he thinks we're going to talk more, but I'm gonna have him play another song
Oh,
because
okay.
there's nothing like back-to-back songs. And you know, I think we're going to have the top 100 here before too long. So
Well, I can't go without playing Trying. So
Yeah, I was gonna actually request that song.
nice.
Well, I ain't quit drinking, I ain't quit smoking, but at least I'm working steady. I guess it took me losing you to be ready. And I ain't always on time, but the bills are getting paid. It's funny what money can buy when you ain't wasting your last dime getting high. But I ain't the man I once was. I'm working hard not to be. I'm still not the man I'm shooting for. Honey, I just want you to see I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying. I may never get where I want to be, but at least I can say I tried. It's the best you can do when you're like me, wasted so much precious time. But I'm not the man I once was. I'm working hard not to be. I'm still not the man I'm shooting for. Honey, I just want you to see I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying. I'm still not the man that you wish I'd been all those years ago. But at least all those tears that you cried for me weren't wasted after all. 'Cause I'm not the man I once was. I'm working hard not to be. I'm still not the man I'm shooting for. Honey, I just want you to see I'm trying. Oh, I'm trying. Well, I'm not the man I once was. I'm working hard not to be. I'm still not the man I'm shooting for. Honey, I just hope you can see.
I feel like I'm back in Key West. That's one of my favorites, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So I got to ask this question. I don't know Joel's wife, but how's your wife doing?
She's doing well. She's doing well. She's working her butt off and being successful, and everything is good on the home front. That's my angel.
I've met her, and I've actually dust off her halo a couple times.
Yeah.
I'm 100% in agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some thorns up there too. You got to be careful.
Listen, I'm not messing with those. I'm gonna keep her up on good side. So, Joel, are you married?
I am. Yeah. I'm married. We have a 3-year-old son as well. He's the only child I've ever had, and my wife is the only woman I've ever married. So it's been wonderful.
So
yeah.
What's your son think of all this?
So he has a couple pianos and guitars. He loves coming up to the studio, and turning all these knobs. So I'll come up to do a session and I'll have to reset everything. He's still at that because I'm learning as a new father and he's my son, I'm still learning how to balance the work life thing out and not get aggravated, and find the joys in it, especially when all he wants to do is just hang out with me. So the balance, the work family life thing it's tough, it's tough because I don't want to miss anything. Also, like, I know a lot of guys have decided not to go back out on the road and go touring. They're just going to stay home and work in music here because they want to be around their family. You only get to go around this once with your kiddo. So he's I'm going to do everything I can to deter him from music. But if he decides to do it, then God bless him. I'll have his back 100%. I'll have his back 100% in whatever he wants to do.
Yeah,
if he wants to be a grease monkey, 100%, I'll buy him all the tools I can afford. He wants to be a musician, I'll invest in all the classes.
Yeah,
if he wants to be a lawyer, then I'll, kick him out of the house early in life and help him out.
I actually can't wait to meet you in person because I've met and I love Kyle and his wife. And
Kyle is there. There is no other like Kyle. He was the very first person I met in Nashville. It was the first person I met. I don't even know. It was like God put the right person in front of me at the right time. Well, we had seen each other or talked for a second or something at Belcourt Taps, God rest Belcourt Taps.
Yeah.
And then we ran into each other at Guitar Center, and it was just like, we've been brothers ever since. And
Absolutely.
the thing about Kyle is he is just the most steady human being. He's always the same dude, tuned up or not, on stage or off stage, pissed off or super happy. He's just even keel, he's all smiles and, just the guy you can rely on for anything.
Man, I love you, brother. Thank you. You're making me feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, you helped me move into my house, this house.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that sucked, didn't it? It was hot. Yeah, and Kyle also gave me my first opportunity to produce, like really produce an artist. I've done some smaller stuff, but we did a couple songs together, and it just really helped me realize that was something that I really had passion for because I wanted to pour my energy into other people. So, and it's taken a few trips around the sun to get it figured out, but we're doing pretty good now.
I'll have to send that to you, John, so you can hear it.
Absolutely. I want to.
Yeah.
You and I got to feel like we haven't hung around each other other than songwriters events, but
when you come up here, you're more than welcome to stay here.
Oh no, I already know that. Good thing I didn't drive to Jacksonville to do that, but
yeah.
You can talk. Reach out to me after this. We'll talk privately about staying at Kyle's house. There's some rules and some things you got to know before you stay at Kyle's house.
Not really rules,
yeah, you are. John, you reach out to me after this. We'll talk about it.
I'm going to do it because I got to know exactly what I'm supposed to do and not.
It's not really rules. It's more of warnings. This room.
Yeah, it's more warnings.
This room I'm in right now is we like to call it the black hole. But it's also wit's end. So when I'm in trouble and my wife is at her wit's end, this is where I am.
Is that the shed that you told me we were going to write in?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So I know I've got a request for 2 more songs, one of each from you guys. So
Cool.
do you have another one, Joel, or do you have to think about it for a second?
Kyle.
Yeah, I'll do something. Let's see. What's something?
I gotta think about it. Excuse me.
How about These Days?
Yeah.
I wrote this. So my wife and I have known each other since the 7th grade, and
It's crazy.
we weren't together all that time, obviously. But when we did finally get together, she had been with a boyfriend for quite some time, and we started dating, and then she kind of left me hanging and went back to him for a minute. And this is the true story on the backstory of it. And she went back to him because she had some unfinished business, I guess. And then when she realized that the guy that she was dating was all but physically abusive, she finally came back. And but I had given her my everything. I was head over heels. And that's when a lot of times I say when a relationship comes back to you, you got to figure out what you want to do. Because we literally sat at the bar, and this song came through my head as we were sitting there. I was just sitting there smiling at her, but this is what was going through my head. You came crawling, crying out my name. And you say you're hoping I love you anyway. Oh, I ain't listening to a word you say. No, not today. 'Cause I don't wanna love you these days. There was a time I'd hold you tight and tell you everything was gonna be alright. And I'd say, I think you ought to stay. Oh, but I don't wanna love you these days. All the words you choose sound so damn sincere. Yeah, and you found a way to muster up some tears. Yeah, ain't did well. One thing's for sure, when I see you this way, hell, I'm amazed. But I still don't want to love you these days. Oh, 'cause I don't play no second best, telling I wasn't good enough for you, I guess. And I don't want your second-hand love. I gotta give it to you though, girl, you put on one hell of a show. Oh, but this time I don't want you to stay. Yeah, 'cause I don't want to love you these days. I ain't over you, but I can't trust you anymore. No more. And you can't blame me for feeling this way. Not this way. Also, I don't want to love you these days. No, I still don't want to love you these days. These days, not these days.
This
So
is
obviously that didn't last long.
Radio 97.5 saying thank you for joining us. We've got 5 more minutes left on Facebook and YouTube. So please join us next week. I've got some very special guests that are going to be here next week too. So we look forward to talking with you and seeing you then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. So we do this not just on YouTube, Facebook, and soon to be much more. I'm working on all those aspects of it, but we actually broadcast on our community radio station, which is internet based. And I know that I've talked to Kyle about this, but I'll kind of fill you in, Joel, because we've got the first show I did. I haven't got the new numbers, but the very first show that I did with the radio station on my other show started out about 4,000. And that's all local stuff. It's not this kind of thing. It's not entertaining beyond outside of the area that I live in, believe it or not. But we went up to about 16,000 listeners on the internet. And those are IP addresses that we can actually track, where FM doesn't have that ability. But the first show that I did for songwriters that was not part of any promotion out there, we had 12,000 IP addresses. So I'm kind of curious, now that we've had four or five steady weeks now of great songwriters and really cool stories to go along with that. I'm anxious to see where that is. So I'll kind of clue you guys in on that as I capture some more numbers from the station. But we're just not talking about doing a podcast right now. We're also coupling or kind of putting that together with an FM community radio station that is broadcasting out. And one of the goals with that is, like you guys, where you kind of collaborate and you work together. I'm going to start reaching out to some other community radio stations and then bring in some songwriters in those local areas and kind of build this network out and capture more of the listening audience out there for you guys, because you never know who's listening at any level. And there's opportunities out there for you guys. So that's kind of why I'm working this side of it, Joel. And I know that Kyle knew about that, but that's the insight that you have now about songwriter souls. And I will say this, I got asked that, where did the souls part come from? And I said, the heart and soul that you guys put in to what you guys do. That's where the souls come from. So,
what's amazing, John, is knowing you from the time that I do. You're doing 100 other things too, other than just this. And he's literally doing it. You do this for us, really. I mean, yeah, you enjoy it, but that's an amazing thing. And I know everybody that gets to be a part of it has got to be eternally grateful for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for this. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it. And I it's my songwriters Key West every Thursday, and I'm already excited about coming down to songwriters, because when I kind of said, I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm actually going to do it, my whole songwriters event with you guys was totally different, and I can't wait to come to Nashville. I'm super stoked about that. I want to hit the back strip. I want to hang out with you guys. I definitely want to go to the shed. And I don't know that I've ever said that before to anybody. But, did you happen to think of another song there, Joe? Before I get all the rules and regulations, I guess.
Yeah. How much time do you got left, buddy?
Well, live on the internet until you're done with your song. But I'm off the radio, so my limitations was only there. But if you choose to play one, that's fine. If you don't, we can end it right here, partner.
Kyle, do you want to hear a song?
Yeah, I always want to hear you sing, buddy.
What song do you want to hear?
Angel.
You want to hear that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I got to grab my off camera here.
Yeah.
I will say this. I had Jeremy Duckett is liking the video that we're doing right now. And Jeremy was a guest with John Allen Miller. And
oh, wow.
he was part of a songwriting event through Creative Tech. And Jeremy's a cool dude. He's really helping veterans out there.
That's amazing.
Change their whole perception through music. So it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, he's got. Oh, watch out! We're.
I'm making him bust out the bad boy stuff.
Man, I hope my son is watching right now. Please comment, Michael, if you're watching, because Michael plays harmonica. Cool. First harmonica on the show.
Wow. I tell you this, man. As long as I've known Joel, I've been a super fan of his from day one. But he is probably
and IU, brother, and IU.
He is still probably the most talented person I've met since I've lived in this town.
No, Kyle, have you been drinking again?
It's Dr. Pepper.
I love you, brother. I don't know if I can even play this guitar so far out of tune, brother. I'm no harmonica, because the harmonica's in tune, the guitar is not. It's like 90 degrees up here right now. This song's called Wings of an Angel. This song is about a time in my life I'm not too proud about, but every time I sing it, I get to revisit it. And then I get to close the book on that portion of my life and be grateful and thankful for the life that I have now. So. Lost my head on a shot of cocaine. Got twisted up and stumbled again. Got caught deep inside those old twisted pines. And the wheels in my head took me over the ledge, and I was drifting like a ship at sea. And the love she was giving was brighter than heaven, but you can't ask a blind man to see. And the words of goodbye, well, they sang through the skies on the wings of an angel that night. In her eyes were sad as I've ever saw, ones that I didn't recognize at all. I was bent as the Cumberland, strung out in Wonderland's halls. And the wheels in my head took me over the ledge, and I was sinking like a ship at sea. And the love she was giving, brighter than heaven, but you can't ask a blind man to see. And the words of goodbye, well, they sang through the skies on the wings of an angel that night. Wings of an angel that night, that night.
Yes, sir.
Aye, cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I appreciate every minute that you guys have spent with me tonight, and I hope that you'll get online and kind of share this out to your people. And
Absolutely.
One of the things that Kyle knows that Joel doesn't, again, which, you know, Joel knows a lot that I'm going to learn now staying at Kyle's house. So
yeah, just give me a call. I'll give you a list of do's and don'ts.
I look forward to that, man. truly,
I'm just kidding. It's a blast over Kyle's house. Come on.
I hate to say this to you, Kyle, but guess what? I'm driving to Ohio, and one either up or back. It's to Nashville.
Come on, bring your swimming trunks and your drinking pants.
I've always got my drinking pants on, so
Yes,
never so the beauty of this whole thing is we're going to hook up and write that song. Not hook up. It's all that. We're not going to the step.
You really got to give me a call, man.
That is like the only rule. If there's
Everybody gets lucky. Woo! Just messing.
No, now I'm fearful for going.
Yeah. Hey, I'll have a hat for you.
Listen, I look forward to that, Mr. Whittaker. I do.
Yes, sir.
So that's a plan. But part of this whole building, this whole process right now, I'm going to do it for about 4 months and then have everybody that was on next year, the first 4 months, building this whole network. I'm going to have you guys all back on, which is going to hopefully be really cool to get a bigger audience for you guys to get your stuff out to, because
I can't wait.
I've got some really cool people that are going to help with Bridget Tatum, Dave Kennedy's on board with helping me out, but I'm waiting on that right now just to get everything where I want it to be so I can really get it out there and get some traction in the real world, which, believe it or not, like and follow my pages, just help me out here and help these guys out, because the biggest thing and the best thing that we're doing right now is helping songwriters be heard and be appreciated, because without you guys, we can't hear the beauty of music. Because just because you watch an entertainer doesn't mean they write the song.
That's right.
So, Joel, it's been a real pleasure. I'll be for the rules, but I appreciate all of you guys, and thank you so much for being part of the show. This is John Rawlings with Songwriters Soul, Joel Jorgensen, and Kyle Whittaker. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Bye-bye now.
We'll see you when you're here. Make sure you call me.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Thank you so much.
Later, bro.